This is a virus, a smallpox virus to be exact. Vaccines are made from the viruses like this, so let's see how it works. The smallpox virus infected the Egyptian Empire around the 3rd century BC, China in the 4th century, and Asia Minor in the 10th century. It was spread due to colonization of multiple countries in the 6th to 18th century. Edward Jenner, an English doctor, was the pioneer of smallpox vaccination and the father of immunology. He carried out his now famous experiment, where he noticed the milkmaids who were infected by complex didn't develop smallpox, a disfiguring and deadly disease. He tested his hypothesis through an 8-year-old boy, James Phibbs, and scraped pus from cowpox blisters from a milkmaid. He vaccinated the child with pus taken from a cowpox pustule and inserted it into an incision in the boy's arm. The Phibbs boy proved immune when exposed to smallpox. And this was how vaccines were made eventually. Now let's see, how do vaccines work? Vaccines introduce a small number of antigens into the body. This mimics the infection of an organism, but is relatively weaker. From there, the body now makes antibodies, which are like soldiers to fight against those microbes if they ever infect the body again. Those antibodies attach to the antigens and help in eliminating those microbes. Now let's look at the types of vaccines. So, what are the types of vaccines available in the market? First are inactive vaccines. Inactivated vaccines use the killed version of the germ that causes the disease, though they usually don't provide immunity as strong as live vaccine. Secondly are toxoid vaccines. These use a toxin made by the germ that causes a disease. They create immunity to the part of the germ that causes the disease instead of the germ itself. Third are subunit vaccines. These vaccines use specific pieces of the germ like its protein, sugar, or capsid. This allows a very strong immune response that's targeted to key parts of the germ. Lastly are live vaccines. Live vaccines use a weakened form of the germ that causes a disease. These vaccines are so similar to the natural infection that they create a strong and long-lasting immune response. Let us now look at some examples of vaccines. The Department of Health holds a vaccination program called Expanded Program on Immunization. This program plans to ensure that infants and children and mothers have access to routinely recommended vaccines like the following. 6 vaccine-preventable diseases were initially included in the API: tuberculosis, poliomyelitis, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and measles. Even though vaccines are proven to be effective due to some vaccine safety concerns and bad influences, many people do not want to have their children vaccinated, which is a big problem. Let us see why in the following scene. 22 years ago, the world was at peace. Vaccines were widely accepted, and humankind was on its way to eradicating deadly diseases one vaccine at a time. Then everything changed when the anti-vaxxers attacked, spurred on by the erroneous claims of one fake study published by the Lancet journal. More and more people began to join the anti-vaxxer movement, and one by one, the almost eradicated diseases made their deadly return. Measles, mumps, poliomyelitis. Thousands of cases re-emerging, with infection rates in infants and young children rising higher than ever in the past decade. Amidst all the chaos, there was still one family who believed in vaccines. Enlightened by the abundant information shown repeatedly on television and other media, the Galvez family decided to vaccinate the newborn baby Kylee. Kylee grew up healthy and safe from the many childhood diseases that claimed some of her friends. Her good health enabled her to achieve a good education. And eventually, she became a doctor. She was able to shine light in the darkness caused by the anti-vaxxers by promoting the legitimacy and effectiveness of vaccination with scientific evidence, overturning public opinion, and regaining the trust of the people in vaccines once again. This time, it is the people themselves that are promoting the safety and effectiveness of vaccines. Slowly but surely, with the help of vaccines, harmony returned to the world. We must remember that vaccines are the best way to prevent infectious disease. A successful immunization program depends on the cooperation of every person. Vaccinations prevent you and your child from getting diseases from which there are often no cure.